What's going on? Absolutely. It's only been a minute. Usually it takes me 5 minutes. Hold on, let me make sure my things. Usually it takes me 5 minutes, but I'm back like I never left. I don't even know how long I'm gonna go tonight. I was checking out some other people's lives and I don't know, it's Monday night, so it's kinda dead out in the YouTube streets tonight. But I'm gonna try to focus on something different than earlier. I actually deleted that live, so I didn't even count it towards nothing. I feel weird after going live after 2 weeks. I'll tell you this, right when I got off the live earlier, it started snowing. I looked outside and it was like a blizzard. It ain't snowing right this minute, but it's like light. It's like real light flurries, I guess, but it is definitely cold outside. Definitely cold. And I'm just bored. I really wanted to take a trip somewhere far, like within the city, but just to the other side of town. Anthony was good, brother. Oh man, that's a lot of snow. Oh, you're snowed in. That means we're probably gonna get some more snow, depending on which direction that the snow is traveling in. Cause it was like really windy with the snow too. So that was new to me. You know what I'm saying? Definitely new. I was like, wow, where did this come from? Because yesterday it was just it was 70 degrees. Hey, what's going on? TB Hunting. How you doing, man? Oh man, I've been all right, man. I've been all right. I don't need a shovel at all. I have 5 feet. Man, Anthony, where are you at? Stacy, how you doing? Make sure you like and subscribe, man. Only if you're gonna stick around. I would appreciate it. It would help me out a little bit, man. Go check out the channel and tell me what you think. I'm working on it every day. I got a long way to go, but I'm going. Okay. Man, I appreciate that. I seen the like definitely. And TB, you're already subscribed. That's cool. The weather is crazy, ain't it, Stacy? I don't know what's going on, bro. It was just 70 yesterday, and then I woke up and it was freezing today. I'm like, what the hell? Like literally, when I checked the temperature at 4 o'clock yesterday, it was 67 degrees outside. Can you get a shout out? No Service wants a shout out. Shout out to No Service. I don't know. That sounds a little sus, man. I'll call you Service, bro. Shout out to Service. Yeah, it was 67 degrees, but I don't use 6-7 for the same reason everyone else does. I'm sorry if I think that that's extremely corny. Anyone that uses 6-7 is corny. And if I had a friend that said 6-7 around me, I'd probably punch him. Not because I think anything about 6-7, but for you to jump on the corny bandwagon, you would have to get away from me. It's just corny, that's all. It's corny because it started in the music game, like, the rappers started it and now it's like spread all around the world and it's just like similar to how T.I. dropped a song with all kinds of symbolism in it. And then the whole world just started like posting all these corny videos of his music doing their little corny dance. And I just was like, I know that's how the industry gets down when they want to trend a song. They pay all their little people to make up a little corny dance and then just flood the internet with it. And then next thing you know, his song makes $10 million, and people they just eat it up like some good food. All right. Catch you later, alligator. Yeah, the world, Stacy, is far beyond crazy. I don't think crazy is a proper definition for what we are living in. Mandy, what's going on? I haven't been on live in 2 weeks, so I've been telling people I was going to slow down on my lives, but I just kept doing them and doing them and doing them till I reached like 70 something lives. And I was like, I got exhausted. I needed a break. And it's still kind of hard to get fully back to it because my lives, they just, the numbers are all messed up. They don't make a lot of sense. And it's just like, it's hard, but I'll keep doing it. It's not hard. The reason it's hard is because what's going on, Jay? I don't talk about scripted stuff. When I do a live, everything is live. There's no editing. There's no, it's like, it's a real live. I don't have any specific topic. I like, and the reason why that is because on my channel, I like to see who comes in and I like to interact with the people 100%. And I like the people to dictate what we speak on, if we even speak on anything. But earlier I was kind of like beside myself talking about some shit that was happening, which I understand, some people don't care and other people, you know, they'll tap in, but anyways, I'm getting back to it though. I think I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come with some new content for sure. I am 44, man. I'm thankful for saying that I'm in my 30s, but I'm actually in my mid 40s. I just keep myself up fairly well. Not the best, but for example, I haven't shaved, right? I haven't shaved usually. I wouldn't even do a live unless I was shaved, but I've done videos before without being shaved and I didn't like the way I looked, so I made kind of like a promise to myself that if I'm going to do a live video, I'm going to make sure that I look good doing it. But it ain't that far gone yet as I move closer to the camera, but in a day or two I will need to shave. You see, I don't use razors. I only use clippers and I don't really like shaving. No, I'm not going to delete no more. It's just when I get to talking some bullshit, it makes me think like I need to be able to show better self-control over what I say to the public and how I talk. And so, your Grams, the oldest. Oh, okay. You know, all of my siblings are in their 40s now. My algorithm or whatever you want to call it, father son, how you doing tonight, sir? Make sure you give me a like, bro. Only if you want to. You don't have to. My recommendation on my live wants to know if people like hard or soft mattresses. I don't know where that stuff comes from, but that's what they said. I appreciate it, Jay. you know. Although the likes don't really matter right now because this channel is not a monetized channel, so I don't ask for the likes for any other reason than, it just helps my channel grow little by little. And believe me, when I say I have a channel that grows little by little, it's true. I am at, my goal tonight would be to get over 750 in subscribers, but based on the numbers and what the numbers reflect, I've been having a really hard time getting my subscribers up. I had the same struggle through 600, but I guess it's fine. I made it to 7, you know. No, I don't have 756. There's no way I got 756. If I do, that's crazy work because I would have had no idea. I would have had no idea when I just started this live, I was at 42. No, I was at 41. So if that is the case, I guess that's cool, man. I got my beanie on because it's not cold in this room, but it's cold outside, man. It's in the low 30s, and I think it's gonna drop lower. It's 11 o'clock here, and and if anybody knows Michigan, it's very, very cold. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It's not in the 50s. Oh my God, the cutest and tapped in. Baby girl, how you doing, little cutie pie? Yeah, you might be looking at somebody else's channel because I know mine doesn't say 756. There's no way. I mean, I could check real quick, but I don't here, man. Let me see. 756. I don't know what you're seeing, but what Jay said is what mine shows 45. It doesn't show it doesn't show 56, but it's all good. God's son. I like that name. How you doing? Greetings to the channel. I hope you stick around, see what I got going on. Yeah, it could be. I wish I was at 56. That would be nice. Of course, right now, like I said, my goal now is closer than I imagined, but really, I need to increase my watch hours because I literally see what happened was when I was doing lives, right? After like I would say the last month or two, the numbers were so low, I couldn't believe it. From if you go to my earlier lives, I was doing around 1,000. Cutest says that she just got a new pair of shoes like 6 days ago. You better keep them clean, keep them looking new. Um, I was experiencing some weird anomaly with the numbers that I would usually get out of nowhere. They just dropped down to like, but I realized that that didn't matter because it was never about how many people are watching this. Yes, the views go into the view bank, but it's the time that the camera rolls that's more important. Yeah, I know, huh? So I could get 55 years like Tay K. If I was with Tay K that day, he wouldn't even be in prison. I would have took his pistol and said, y'all gotta fight, but won't be no shooting. And he did that in a in a drive-through. Can you believe that? got out the car inside of a drive-through and unalived his friend. I still can't believe he did that. Like, he had to have known he was about to get 55 years. Okay, well, that's not what the court documents say. That's not what the evidence shows. I mean, it sounds good, but let me just run this past you, Storm. We are talking, and I love TK, man. He had that really hot song, man. We gonna do the race, but let's be real. He's already convicted. This isn't a trial. He's not fighting a case. He's already convicted, so it doesn't matter whether he did it or not. They charged him for it, and they convicted him for it, and they won't let him out. And that sucks. But if I was there with TK, that would have been a different outcome. These youngins, man. These youngins really they be wildin'. We gotta get back to caring about our lives. The young people need to get back to caring. But I was watching for another example, bro. I was watching a video earlier that was saying the young people act the way they act because they know that the future is non-existent. They're seeing how the adults are sitting up here doing bad and struggling and things ain't working out for nobody for real. And like the youngins are looking at that and saying, we just gonna act a damn fool then. Slinky, I ain't heard from you in a minute, sir. So, I got two young daughters. I don't have sons. I guess it's kind of glad I don't have sons. I'm kind of happy about that because although I could have probably managed my sons, it's a little bit more complex managing daughters, but I love them regardless. At 44 years old, I'm probably not going to have any more children. I could though, you never know. I've seen dudes at 60 get women pregnant, so you never know. The problem is it would have to be yeah, drugs are not cool, bro. I grew up in the dare era, you know what I'm saying? Uh-oh, what we got? And they are furry. The inside is a lot of space in it. Love them every day. And I wear them too much fun to be in it. And I wear them at school. Heck yeah, cutest. I heard that. You are such a sweetheart. Um, you know, we have to Tay K last song was really good, but song lyrics told the police everything. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say this about Tay K, but he is officially a distant memory. He will never be who he could have been. And that alone to me is very sad because he had talent. He was on the right path, and then one day he just decided to crash and burn everything without even considering what he already built. That is not the way to live life. And you know what? There are so many others after him that did the same exact thing. So many young cats that had futures. They could have had the money. They could have had the fame if that's what they was going after. But instead they chose to crash and burn. That's not how we moving in 2026. You gave me a new like. All right, cutie pie. Thank you so much. Do I know Lil Jeff? I haven't heard of Little Jeff. I don't listen to music, bro. If you go to my page, to my channel and check out my playlist, which people usually don't, I don't listen to any of the new latest music. And then on top of that, I don't even listen to lyrics. I only listen to beats for the most part. He's a distant memory, Slinky. He went to prison for murder in the state of Texas over something very petty. And he was up and coming for sure at the time. He was definitely up and coming, but he forfeited all of that. That's what you call self-sacrificing right there. He thought he was sacrificing his homie. Whole time he was sacrificing himself times two. And I hated that for him because like we didn't really know who he was until after the case was started. And then when they sentenced him and convicted him, people were like, wow. Yeah, but see, here's the thing about being in prison for that kind of case, Godson. Let me just run because I've been to prison. Not proud of it, gotta say that for the record. But let me just tell you something about prison with a homicide case. If you remember when O.J. Simpson was fighting his case, the family, even though he beat his case, the family sued him for negligence and wrongful deaths and all kind of shit, right? Because he wrote a book. 53%. And he was ordered by the court to pay the family however many millions off the proceeds of the book that he wrote. And that is exactly the case for most people. I have a half brother that's in the feds in California right now, and he's got 20 plus years for a death, right? And so his case is book worthy, right? It's definitely my half brother's case is book worthy, but the problem is if he writes the book himself, he will have to pay restitution and the court will immediately sue him or the family will. And even if they don't, he still has victim restitution, right? For the burial, for the death, for the hospital bills, for everything. And I've seen guys with $2 million in restitution. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on what the nature of your offense was. And so, with that being said, even if he were to blow up off of new music, he would still have to pay a majority of it to the family. It in California, it's called impact crime on victims. And the thing about that is, as soon as you get to prison, they deduct it off of your books. So it's kind of like garnishment. You don't get the money like we love you too, cutie pie. We love you too. You take your butt to bed. No, I don't know about Norwegian prisons, but in America, if you have a violent case that involves a death, you have to pay the family. You have to pay fines to the court. Y- Like I said, them fines and fees they can go up. They can be way high, bro. And so, like I said, once again, if he was to make a comeback with his music, he would just end up having to pay the victims with that money. So he would be popular, but he would be broke. He wouldn't have any money. And in my opinion, can I scan your QR code? Um, no, I can't. I can't scan an icon. Um, what I could probably if I looked up your page on a TV screen and held this phone up to it, but I don't. scan unofficial QR codes anyway. But if you want, you can go to my Cash App or my Buy Me a Coffee account, and you can make a donation to it. I'm currently trying to get a vehicle. I don't have a job, so if you were finding it in your heart to want to donate, you could do it like that. You can donate all the way up to $50 or more. Slinky says that he doesn't listen to much rap music, but I like 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, and Ice-T. I like 50 Cent too. He's still dropping music. 50 is a really cool cat from New York to me. Out of all the dudes that came out of New York, 50 is one of the top guys for me. He may not be the most lyrical, but the way that he thinks and the way that he presented himself to the music industry, I really liked it. I thought, yeah, this dude is solid as fuck, and I like that. Snoop, I've been following Snoop Dogg pretty much all my life. So, Snoop music, because of who he is today, his music is kind of mid compared to what it used to be because he was trying to appeal to a larger audience. So I get it. Yeah, you know what? I thought the same thing about Biggie Smalls until the whole P Diddy fiasco, and they started like quoting like all this homosexual stuff that was encoded into his music. I just thought that was weird how they were showing videos with transsexuals walking into men's bathrooms and all this crazy stuff. I started to feel different about Biggie, man. I really did. Jay Biggs, how you doing? I still like his music, don't get me wrong, but I would like to question him and ask him if P. Diddy made him make his music like that because I just thought it was strange. Oh man, shout out to Tita La Mamacita. Yeah, I can give you a shout out. Absolutely. Tita La Mamacita. No doubt about it, man. Make sure you give me a like in return, man. Possibly even a subscribe. It'll be nice. It'll really help me out. I've been learning more and more about the editing tools and the different options. So the people that follow my channel and check me out, I've been getting more creative than ever before. Like if you were to go back to some of my first videos compared to now, you'll see the difference. No, in the kitchen, look in my coat pocket. Yeah, like I said, Godson, Biggie Smalls is cool. I just questioned the stuff that was pointed out. I don't let it sway how I feel about him, but I did see what people were saying, and it did become a question. And it was like, wow, this was some shit we never noticed before. How didn't we see this? And, I believe that it was wild. It didn't make any sense. It was like, how is it that this guy that everybody loves ended up having all this stuff encoded into his music? And it's just like, hey, if the dude was gay, it's all good, right? A lot of those rappers, that they have to come and present themselves to the world with a persona that is not of their private life. So that's why, like, you know, for example, Nipsey Hussle was a rapper. Ermias Askmadome. I don't I can't pronounce his last name. I may have got that wrong, but either way, Ermias was his true character, who he was behind the music, right? So when he got unalived, you know, Ermias and Nipsey both died that day. Not just one person, the character and the actual person. And that's how it was with Biggie. When he passed away, Notorious B.I.G. and Christopher Wallace both passed away because Christopher Wallace was the man behind making the music. Biggie Smalls was the one who performed it, but we lost both of them. So every time you hear about a rapper getting unalived, just know it's two individuals are gone at once. Every one of them. Because when Keith Murray, he's one of the few that actually uses his real name, but most artists don't use their real name, even if it is a real name. It's just like a lot of celebrities, they have regular names, but it's not their government name a lot of times. Like, for example, Rihanna, that's not even her real first name. I believe Rihanna's her middle name. It is part of her name, but it ain't her actual factual name. You know what I mean? Hey, little cutie pie, you better take your butt to bed. Yeah, it's almost midnight, and I'm sure you got school tomorrow. I'm gonna tell your mama on you. So, Slinky, you need to look at the latest music that 50 just dropped with another artist named Lil B. He's still dropping hits, he's still making good music, no doubt about it. And he's also clapping back at Ti and his son. So, you know, man, it's a crazy world. I ain't gonna tell on you. Ice Cube, yeah, I like Ice Cube. I also grew up on Ice Cube, man. Oh, you talking about his son's name is King, one of them. King is the one that's trying to be the most disrespectful. And the other son, I forgot his other son. It's two sons making diss tracks, and then there's T.I. I only know one of the sons' names, but if you look up King, you'll end up being able to find his other son's name. It's not hard. They're both dissing 50, which is interesting to see exactly where it may go. Yeah, hip hop is cool, man. Like I said, I grew up on Ice Cube. My mother used to listen to Ice Cube back in the 90s. We used to bump NWA on our way out of town. I'll never forget, man. We'll load up in our raggedy car. We didn't have no AC, so we'll roll the windows down. And it only took a short trip to get to the freeway entrance. And let's say we were going 45 minutes out of town, right? Because my grandmother lived in another town, but my grandmother literally lived in the next city over, right? So my mom would put on either Easy E or she would put on some Ice Cube and we'll rock out with my mom. How you doing, Ishmael? Greetings to the channel, sir. Appreciate you stopping in. Um, you never listen to country songs, but I saw them on TV. Hey man, I like country songs, bro. You know why I like country? Because when I worked in Las Vegas years ago, I used to be on the road a lot. The cutest says, "Oh, that was close. Dear God bless you." We're not gonna tell on me. You know I'm not gonna tell on you, but that don't mean I want you to stay up all night neither. But if you want to watch me, then you can. I'll be on my best behavior and I won't say nothing crazy. And I'm kind of glad that you're here because it's gonna keep me from wilding out. Um, Here's a good 50 Cent song that I like. It's called What If. That's one of my favorite songs. I encourage you to look it up. Like I said, it's called What If. And when I'm feeling inspired or I'm feeling some kind of way, I turn on What If. Dang, godson, where you at? We're at 6 a.m. You must be overseas. You got to be overseas in like Europe, Asia, or somewhere of the sort. But you go make that money, bro. You go make that money, man. That's I wish I had a job to go to in the morning. They got me unemployed out here, and I don't know what if I'll ever have a job again. The way these people be acting. But you know what? As long as I have faith, that's all I need. I noticed earlier there was 4 people in the chat, right? And they never said one word, but the number stayed at 4 solid for quite some time, and I was just wondering who are the 4 people. It was strange because I was talking, but there was no reply, and I was like, "What could that be?" Right now, currently, the internet where I'm at in my region, the internet is acting very finicky and strange. Maybe it's the weather. I don't really know. I can hear the weather outside the window right now. Y'all probably can't hear it, but I can hear that the wind is blowing. It's blowing hard. Yeah, I think I'm gonna catch the bus to go see my daughter soon. I think I'm just have to catch the bus and go walk to the house. It's gonna be worth the travel. I might do it tomorrow. I don't know. I have to check with her mother and see if it's okay to come catch the bus down there. I'm sure she would like that very much. Me personally, I'm waiting for the midnight hour, which is in another 22 minutes, 23 minutes. But I'm hoping that the snow doesn't continue all night. Because then, if it does, that's just an indication that it's going to be cold for the rest of this week. And but it's fine because this is just like every other year. This is the time where the winter time makes its last stand. It makes its final push, and then it gets real cold for a few weeks, and then the temperature starts to creep back up. It still be cold, but it don't be frigid type of cold, icebox freezer type of cold. And then April rolls around, and then it be in the 60s, low 60s, 50s, 60s, mid 50s to low 60s. And then by May, it reaches up to high 60s, low 70s, and then probably by the middle of May, it shoots all the way up to the 80s, 70s and 80s and 90s all the way till the end of October. So, I've been considering some things to do this summer, like make a list of all the things that a person can do that doesn't own a car. What are all the things that a person can do that does not own a car? That's going to be the plan. You know, um, you know, I really wish that I could get the people to help me, but the people they last time I tried that, oh man, I got the worst backlash of my life. I couldn't believe it. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yeah, yeah. I almost feel like, man, as I age, things are taking CC motion. I didn't even see you come in the building, man. What's going on, bro? But yeah, Biggie Hershey, what's going on, bro? Make sure you like the video. You ain't gotta subscribe unless you want to, but any is plenty. We're at 12 likes. I can't hardly believe there's only two people in here. But if I were to swipe up to the next goofy channel, it's just amazing how there'll be 50 people in that live. But when I do a live, I struggle to keep two or three people in here. I know that's by design. It's not a coincidence that it's hard to keep my numbers up. It's just a part of being, a heavy target of the people of the occult. But it is what it is. At some point you just get over it and say you don't care anymore. You let it affect you, then it's gonna affect you. If you don't, you don't. All right, baby girl. You have a good night, all right? Don't let the bed bugs bite. Yeah. I want to make another live outside, but I could have made one the other night, man. It was nice outside. I should have went and set up down on one of the corners. The problem is where I live at a certain time of night, the streets are empty. And that I just don't like. Because when I lived in Vegas, it was never like that. I can go anywhere in the city at any time of night, and there will be people out. There will be people walking. There will be people riding bikes, people driving. There will be cars on the road. The buses will be running on schedule, even at 3 in the morning. Go outside where I live right now at 3 in the morning. It is graveyard dead out here. There ain't nobody out. And if you do see a random person walking, they're either getting off work or it's just a random homeless guy passing through the area. And that ain't no shot to the homeless guys. It's just, oh man, me personally, I don't like living in areas where everyone have cars. I really don't. I like to live in areas where some people are on foot because then you can kind of like talk to different folks. And I always been like that, bro. When I used to live in Vegas, I used to always have conversation with randoms, just random strangers, man. You go down to the you go down to the bus station at night, not the Greyhound, but the city bus station. Man, you'll end up seeing well, me, I can't speak for the next individual, but myself. I go there at 3 o'clock in the morning and still see people that I know. I knew a lot of people in Vegas. I know a lot of people in Las Vegas. A lot of people. And even though years have passed, some places, a lot of things just don't change. The scenery can change, but the mentality and the people don't. They stay, they stay the same, bro. Appreciate the hearts. Highly, highly appreciate the hearts. Thank you, thank you. But Southeast Michigan, after 9 years of living here, I still haven't got used to this place. I'm starting to think I'll never get used to this place because you start to notice as you live here and they treat you like an outsider, you make yourself ask the question like, Why do they treat people like outsiders in the first place? Is the question number one. But question number two is, how come it's been 9 years and I still don't feel comfortable here? Oh, I appreciate that. That spams the algorithm and gets people to come stop in. But like I said, I don't a lot of people skip over the channel, but they got me on some kind of weird program to where I'm blocked from a lot of things in life. I don't want to get back into it again, but it is just how it is for me. It's just I'm just simply blocked. They just some reason these people just decided to block me from so many things. I'll never understand why, but I guess it's not really meant for me to know. They got this occult really just trying to grind me into dust. And it seems like they're pretty good at shit like that. The occult, bro. The same people I always talk about. They really got me on some weird program. And it's fine. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that if you don't believe me, go scroll, go to a couple different other lives and just check the numbers. Doesn't matter what they're talking about. Doesn't matter who it is. Just check the numbers. The numbers say it all. If you look at the numbers, see one thing about numbers are numbers can't lie, right? When the numbers are based on a specific system, the numbers cannot lie, right? The only thing numbers can do is be manipulated by man, but they can't lie, right? So, you know, um, heavy manipulation is always surrounded me. Everywhere I go, everything I do, there's always this heavy manipulation of everything. They just want to manipulate all the energy around me in hopes that it will manipulate my own personal energy. Very, very strange behavior to say the least, but at any rate, that's what's always worked for these people. So that's what they do. That's their go-to. They use all the texts and the internet and they just use it all. They have access to all the platforms and just they use it to manipulate. That's what they do. Some people, not everybody, but I'm definitely like got a lot of people obsessed with my energy, man. I've got people obsessed with my energy. And I know a lot of people probably won't believe that, but trust me, I have grown ass adults that are very weird, that are obsessed with manipulating my energy. And there's many of them. There's a lot of them. I don't know what their trip is. I would say that their trip is none of my business, but their trip affects my life. And that's the problem. They don't want me to have a life. But that's also, I would say, it's the reason that I should get back into my live videos. Like, I might take some more time off shortly, but right now, for the rest of this week, maybe even the rest of this month, I'm gonna do my shit. I'm gonna go hard because I want to kick back on the shorts for a while. I'm tired of making shorts. I like see this. So this is my this is what I usually do. Right, I'll step out. I'll get me some footage of whatever I want. Right. The problem is I haven't been very many places lately. I've just been around the neighborhood. So I need to venture farther out to different little landmarks and places. I have a really good idea for one video, so I'm going to go handle that. But I want to kick back on the shorts for a while until I can build up the footage that I want. And then I'll take videos, even if I don't post them, 10, 15-minute videos, whatever, and just build them up to a certain degree and then post them. Boom, 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 boom. And so that's the way I just want to do it. But for right now, but let me ask you guys this though. Do you think it would be more interesting if I did a live outside during the day or at night? Not like the past ones where I just stand on the corner somewhere as the cars go by, but, like, let's say I went to the downtown area and I did a live in the downtown area just walking through all the people and the buildings, or I waited till there was a big event in Detroit and went down there and just did a live for everybody, or just a cool video. Would that be something that, like, y'all would be interested in? Would it catch your attention? Because I feel like these in-house videos are kinda boring. You sound too loud. Yeah, that would be so cool if you took us with you. Yeah, you know what? I'm trying to get somebody to buy me that extra battery for an iPhone. I'm not gonna say who, but I want no, I got good equipment. You see this thing right here? That thing right there will block out a lot of noise. No, I don't know Huggy Wuggy Alice. Um, I need a Huggy Wuggy though. I would love to get a Huggy Wuggy. Yeah, there's a Walmart not too far from here too. I just I need to get some money, man. It sucks not having a job. I don't know what this shit is about. It's the longest. Let me tell you something, bro. This is the longest time in my entire life that I've ever went without a job. You like that, huh, Alice? Yeah, I need a old huggy wuggy. I ain't gonna lie. You know, hugs are nice. I used to miss, like when my grandma used to give me hugs. I used to miss that. I'm sure if she was alive right now, she'd give me a big huggy wuggy. Yeah, but I don't know how much the iPhone. See, because the thing is, when I'm out and about live streaming, my battery goes kind of fast. You know what I mean? So I want to have a backup so I can do an actual stream that's worth the time. Hold on, man. I got to look outside because it sounds like the wind is blowing right now. Yeah, the wind is blowing, but there's no more snow coming down at this very moment. But sounds like the start of a scary movie outside. It really does. Mine too. Why I used to. Yeah, that's what I want is a power bank, man. But I want to get a good one, bro. They got really good ones, man. And I don't want to just spend money on it. I don't know. I might see if I can get my sister or my daughter's mom to get it for me and just do something. But I need one. If I go that far out, I mean, I could take my damn okay. If I could, you know, I don't want to get out there and then only have like 45 minutes to stream because bro, like if none of you guys are in the area of um oh okay. If none of you guys are in the area of Michigan, like the Detroit area, then you don't know that on game night, you got to remember Detroit has the Pistons, the Red Wings, the Tigers, and the Lions. There's four major sports teams in the city, and sometimes you'll have different teams playing. And so, like, let's take the Tigers, for example. If they having a home game or the Pistons are having a home game, it is so hectic downtown. Oh my God. It's like the perfect time to go absorb that energy and just chill. And just everybody is celebrating, and there's a lot going on. And it's really fun. It reminds me of how Vegas used to be on fight night or when there's a like a major event. And you know what? If I would have been thinking back then before I left Vegas, I would have had this channel a long time ago because I would have got all that footage, bro. I probably would have been at 10, 15,000 subscribers right now if I would have just been thinking like, damn, back in Vegas, I should have started my channel. I really should have. But I wasn't thinking about it. at the time. I was busy drinking, doing drugs, and partying, and it was so bad. Like I had a job and shit, but it was so bad. I would get off work, I would take a shower, get dressed, and I would call up my friends, and we would either meet up at each other's houses or we'd just meet on the strip and we would just party all night till the wee hours of the morning. Bro, I can't tell you how many times I left off the strip and all I had was just enough time to hurry up, get home, put my work clothes on, and go to work. And I'm sitting up here high out of my mind, drunk, no sleep. And now I got a whole construction job where that's not the best condition to be in to go do that kind of work. It wasn't fun, bro. I used to kick myself in the ass all the time for living like that. I was more interested in hanging out than I was keeping my mind focused on, but I still was doing okay in life. Like I still had everything I needed. I lived alone. I had my own place. I ended up getting a car loan, so I had me a little Chevy Malibu, which made it even worse because now I could get around faster and farther. So all I did was hung out more and waited till the last minute more. And it was just like exactly what you said, Jay, is how I describe how it felt to try to leave off the strip or wherever. Because some nights it wasn't about just being on the strip. We would end up at somebody's house, but it would still, let's say I got to be to work at 7 and I don't leave until 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So I got to hurry up and rush home, get dressed, splash water on my face, and then show up to work at 7. And you know what? My fucking boss, the owner, his wife, the secretary, all knew that I was fucking around. I was, excuse my language, I was messing around in the streets all night. And they know that I was high. And they know that I still had alcohol in my blood. They still let me work. But they was like, hey man, you need to get it together, sir. You're good. You got a decent position. You're good at what you do, but we can't be having you come in like this, especially when we know that you're partying all night and then trying to show up for work. Thank God I never got hurt. I mean, I had minor injuries, but nothing major. I've always had, minor stuff going on. But, I remember one day, particularly, I was doing some overtime and I came in by myself. Now, remember, I said that no, I didn't quit the job. I had got into a car accident one night on payday and I was going to physical therapy with my cousin. And my boss, the owner, found out about it and he laid me off with benefits because he said he didn't want for me to turn into a liability, which that was true, right? Working while you have a personal injury case is a liability for whoever you work for. So what I did is I came here to Michigan and I wasn't supposed to be here for 9 years. I was only supposed to be here temporarily, but it worked out so well that I'm still here. Yeah. Yeah, he let me get unemployment for 6 months because I had built up quite a bit of unemployment time. I did. Despite everything I say I was doing, I still showed up for work every day. Nine out of 10 of the times because I liked my job. My job was fun. I drove a truck all around the entire Las Vegas, bro. There ain't a part of Las Vegas that I don't know about. I could tell anybody anything about that city, man. I had a construction job, driving my own work truck. I was pushing through Vegas in brand spanking new work trucks. Everybody knew me. All the major companies, all the properties. I even did work at half the casinos. I did I worked at that company for 10 years, so a lot of people still to this day they know me, right? Um, it was a good and a bad thing, though, right? It put me on the radar for a lot of strange people, and that's kind of part of the reason why, I'm having these issues with being targeted by these occult members to this day is the amount of exposure I got. They when you catch the wrong people's eye, yeah, they pursue you. Is it true you can't pour water into the Hoover Dam? No, that's not true. I've been to the Hoover Dam like 20 times. I used to drive out there with my brother and sister in the middle of the night and we'd go fuck around, but there is security that will they'll come and they'll come and tell you to leave, but you can pour water in the Hoover Dam, and honestly, you should because that water is so dry now. The water level is so low; it needs every amount of water it can get. Even if you just pour a shot glass worth of water in there, it'll do the damn lake some good, you know. But I've even been under the Hoover Dam. The laboratory where all the big turbine motors that uh, generate electricity. You can go take the tour. I actually went on the tour with my aunt and cousin and them. You gotta you can't just get in. You have to go online and you have to get tickets, right? You have to get the tickets, and then you have to go on the day that your tour is scheduled for, and then you wait for the tour guide that's gonna come and they're gonna ask to see your ticket. You show them your ticket. They tell the people that are going on the tour to go over here. They lead you to some elevators, whatever, whatever, and then you go down, and then now you're inside of the laboratory, and it's crazy. It reminds me of how on Austin Powers, Doctor Evil lived inside of the mountain, and like the walls of his little um like the ATL arch. I don't know. Oh, the St. Louis arch. I don't know what you mean. Um, I'll tell you this, when you get out there to the Hoover Dam, it looks crazy. It just everything is massive. Everything is just big concrete and rock, desert, water. It's one of the great feats of American engineering. I'll tell you that. When they say that, that's exactly what it is. And you just don't realize just how massive everything is till you get out there. It's just, man, I wouldn't mind going out there again. But anyway, so you get into the elevator, and then when you get down to the laboratory floor where the turbines are, they got curbs built up against the bottom of the walls because water seeps through the rock wall. And if they didn't have the curbs with a drain built right at the foot of the wall, that water would just flood into the laboratory. So it's pretty cool how they got it set up, right? But it's pretty cool how they have it set up, but it's so big that they got cars down there inside of the laboratory, and they got all these engineers and all these scientist guys that walk around with lab coats on all day, just monitoring all the equipment, and they take you through the whole area. They got this big hole where the water drains out into. Yeah, that is something like what the Hoover Dam is, but much bigger, much bigger. And it's a crazy. It's worth the money though. It's worth going and checking that out. I'll give it that. Like But I've been up there on days when we didn't go take the tour. We just went up there and parked and just kind of just chilled out because there's also a pathway that you can walk through. Go take a picture at the line that separates Arizona from the state of Nevada. And it says it right on the ground. If you're on this side of the line, you're in Arizona. If you're on this side of the line, you're in Nevada. You can go check that out. You'll see boats on the Colorado River side of the dam, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? But then if you go down a few miles, all right, you have a good one. You come to Lake Mead. And then if you travel a few miles down the road even farther, you come to Lake Las Vegas, which Lake Las Vegas is a man-made lake that they built for the millionaires that own property. Look up Lake Las Vegas, man. I used to work out in Lake Las Vegas. They got this little space out there called the Wetlands. And Lake Las Vegas, they have a casino out there called the Ritz Carlton. But the whole lake is man-made. But they got some really nice multi-million dollar homes in Lake Las Vegas. There's no poor people that live in Lake Las Vegas. It's for millionaires only. And there's a lot of celebrities that own property at Lake Las Vegas. I used to go up to Lake Las Vegas at my job. I've done lots of work at Lake Las Vegas, man. That's why I say when I worked at my company, it was a welding fabrication slash construction company. We did electrical, we did drilling, boring, structural steel, fencing, lighting. We did security gates. We did security monitoring systems. We did a lot of stuff, and because that was the place that I worked at, I was able to see a lot of stuff. No reason anymore. Should have that kind of money. Then there's people starving, no doubt about it, man. Like I said, that place, Lake Las Vegas, at one point didn't even exist. The houses, the water, nothing. It was just desert. And then 20 years later, it's a whole community that they built from scratch. I'm pretty sure it looked pretty good on the design table when the developers introduced it to the investors for the future. The vision was perfect and it was clear and it was doable. And they said, yeah, let's do it. And everybody approved multi tens of millions of dollars to start the project. And now it's a functioning community where you can go out speed boating on the water, you can go fishing, you can have a really good time, you can throw elite parties, you can host parties at the Ritz Carlton Casino. They even have a bridge that goes over the water, just a little small part of the water, but you can have a real romantic night with, a girl that you like, take her up there and you guys can go post out on the balcony over the water and you can see the lights of Vegas in the distance and it's like the shit is really nice, bro. The shit is really nice. All right. We're gonna change this background light. Let's do red now. I like red better. Or matter of fact, let's do yellow. We're gonna do yellow, people. Purple. You know what? Actually, or that one, or that one. No, I like this one. So we gonna switch up the lighting a little bit, if you guys don't mind. 15 likes, 71 minutes, one person in the chat. Who's in the chat, man? Speak up, man. Who we got in here, man? Everybody done floated away like balloons on a breezy day. We got somebody sleep on the live? Oh, this me. That's inaccurate, I'm sure. Yeah, I know. Well, it's been showing one person, but I'm with you. There's probably a few people in here. Like I said, for some reason my live numbers are always doing weird stuff that I still can't figure out. But I don't care. I just want to make sure that I'm talking to somebody, which I guess it don't matter because even if I do a live when there's nobody showing, when I upload it, people can still go back and watch it. But I think I'm going to go through my lives soon and I'm going to add names to them and I'm going to change the no, I have a PlayStation 4. I have a PS4, but it's been acting up very severely lately, so I haven't been playing it as much as I used to. And you know what? It really don't matter because I be on YouTube so much, bro. I get so distracted, man, on GTA or Call of Duty or any other game that I play, which those are the only two I played, but mainly just GTA. I don't have any money, man, so I can't buy any games. I don't know when the next time I'll be able to afford anything will be because I'm unable to seek employment right now. I've tried. It's hard. They say that I'm everybody's favorite pass. I'm the favorite no, you know. When you come up around people that they create problems in your energy and then they act as if you're the one that created the problem. It's a really weird climate, when people still smile at you and they still act friendly, but behind the smiles and behind the eyes, you know that you're surrounded by two-faced individuals that are all participating in some weird program against you and you can't do nothing about it. You can't get no one to talk about it. It just kind of puts you in a permanent state of frustration that now I have to wear a mask just to hide it. Very, very irritating way to live, but it's the reason I've been considering, you know, my next options in life. You know, everywhere I go, they surround me by these same types of individuals. They even place individuals in the area to make me feel suffocated by one type of thinking, but I know that it's just an illusion, but still, it's still hard, And I just say all that to say, man, I can't wait till I'm able to make moves again. Because there's so many things I want to do. At 44 years old, I'm just like super inspired still. You know what I'm saying? Like super ready to go, ready to get it cracking, ready to conquer the world. But it's just I I don't know. I have no real answer for what I've experienced. I can spew my theories all day and all night and all afternoon, but at the end of it, at all, at the end of all the spewing, I don't really know what's going on. I just think that the world was fake from the beginning and we just never knew about it. That's what I think. That's what I've always thought. Everything is fake. It just took us to become grown men to find that out. That's what I really believe. And in some cases, the kids, the babies, they know as well. They were indoctrinated in. They took my name and they did a lot to my name, right? I got businesses in the state of Washington that are registered under my name, and it's not even hard to find. That's the craziest part about it is things that are in my name, you would think that they would be hidden better, but they're actually not. Maybe that's why they try to sacrifice me because the police turned a blind eye to it, and the fraud. There's a lot of fraud that was done in my name. It was all covered up though. That's the weird part. That's why I don't understand life anymore. It's like so people can just open up businesses in your name, make money, launder it through a business in your name, and then stalk you, target you, and then poison you, unalive you. The police know about it, but it's easier for them to turn a blind eye because of who's involved, and life just goes on. Very, 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 very bad world we live in, man. Very bad world. But I'm only suffering because of, you know, the crimes of others. Serious crimes. Crimes that I'd be sitting in the federal penitentiary over. You know, these people can do to me though with no consequence whatsoever. And, you know, never been to the police about nothing though, but I found evidence many times over fraud in my name and just never went and filed no reports because I felt like if I can find this and nobody is investigating it, but I got all these people stalking and targeting me, then they have to know that this stuff exists too, which means that if I were to report it, they would just take it off of public record and I would look crazy. And so I don't want to go through that. So I just never reported nothing because, like, I felt like now that I know how things really operate, I was never going to get no help from the beginning, no matter what I did, no matter what I reported. And the fact of the way they got me having to live at this moment in my life lets me know that these people just want me gone. They don't want me to ever feel like I had a chance at a regular life or anything because, like, there was some high level fraud that took place. And there's a strong possibility that it's still taking place, but definitely some high level fraud in my name that was had nothing to do with me, and I talk about it and it just falls on deaf ears most of the time. I know who's behind it, I know who's responsible, and I know who is protecting the people that did it. But you can know everything, right? If you can't find law enforcement to help you with it, it's pointless. It's like they'll railroad you for some shit they know you didn't do because they just was like, we need a fall guy, but it's easier to just take this particular guy up out of here so nobody has to answer for it. It'll get covered up and eventually it'll stop being talked about. That's why in America it's so easy to take people out because it's just like anything. When you don't want to deal with something and you're done with something, you just get rid of it. Whether it's a car, a house, a job, or even a person, you just discard it. Use your little secret society to cover everything up, get rid of the person, and nobody speak about it ever again. And why this person's still alive, don't speak about it neither. Very, very well organized organization. And when you're dealing with like governments and FBI and police and DEA agents and, all those kind of people, they got the resources to cover up anything. I mean, look at all the shit they've covered up in the past that we do know about. How hard is it to believe that a regular citizen got frauded by some fucking rich people who had connections in the fucking law and justice system that all they got to do is take you out? End of story. Nobody talks about it. You're just gone, part of history, and it is what it is. Like they've been doing that shit for as long as we can remember, right? Like conspiracies, cover ups, high level frauding. I mean, I say, what do you think the Twin Towers was? 9/11 was a cover up, 9/11 was a fraud. It was the biggest fraud that's ever occurred in America, actually. And look how many people die. If you think 2,500 people can perish in one day, and you got one guy complaining about getting frauded, and now uh, uh, the secret organizations of America are trying to silence you permanently. What is one person? If they'll take out 2,500 people to keep a secret, they'll definitely take out one individual, right? But maybe one day, just to prove my point, just to prove that ain't nobody crazy, bro, I will post the information online. I will post what I found on websites that no one would have ever thought I would have visited. And there's a couple of them, right? And here, I'll just give you one for a reference that you can look up and prove to you that I know what I be talking about, right? You got Judy Records, right? Oh, that's a good one. Anybody who ever heard of Judy Records, you can find out shit about people for free too. You don't even have to pay no money. Just type in the person's name. You can go to it right now. JudyRecords.com and type in somebody's name that you want to know what their criminal history is. Long as you know what city they're in, you know their first and last name. Type that shit in and you'll find all kinds of that's how I found out. I ain't gonna say what I found out about my cousin, but like I just found out shit that I didn't previously know about. But that's just that site, right? The other sites I actually paid money to get into, like Truth Finder, which Truth Finder is cool, but it's got a lot of outdated old information, but it does have useful information. I found out a lot about my family got $1 million homes in the state of Washington, right? But you know, what's the other one I used to go to? I forgot the other one. Oh, Ben Verified. Yeah, you got to pay to go on Ben Verified too. Anthony, what's going on? How you doing, man? You got to pay to get on Ben Verified too, right? But if you go on Ben Verified, it's only like 23, $24 for the whole month. And then you can research your own name, right? Type in your name, first, middle, and last name, the state, your age, your birthday, and everything that falls under who you are. And then it will search. Do 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 do. And now you can pay premium for more information, or you could just pay the basic standard 30 days, right? Pay the money, Do the search and watch how much shit comes back under your name. And this is how you can verify who's who. Because not only does it give you your name, but it also gives you your known relatives alive and no longer alive. So that's how you know and can verify that the person's file that you're looking at is actually you. It will say Johnny such and such, son of Vicky such and such, two siblings, Jane and Jimmy. And so you're like, oh, that's me. My mom's name's Vicky. I got a sister and brother named Jane and Jimmy. So you start going through that file and you just notice phone numbers, addresses, business accounts, and shit that you never did in your life in states that you've never been, which I did. I've been to Washington, I've lived there twice. So it didn't surprise me when I found fake businesses in the state of Washington. It didn't rub me the wrong way at all. It just gave me a sinking feeling in my gut like, damn, this shit's been true all along. Motherfuckers frauded in my name. People did all kind of shit, and it's not even hard to find because it's right there. And I should just post it one day. Will it matter? Probably not. It don't matter. And it's just a wild world that we live in. And a lot of people get done dirty for nothing, for no reason whatsoever. You got people, children out here trying to sacrifice their fathers and their mothers for fame and fortune and promises, right? A lot of time the promises are false. They're not even real promises. You find out that your kids done joined a cult, and it just breaks your heart. You're like, damn. Maybe not you guys. Maybe this ain't your story, but it's damn sure mine. You find out you had kids by people in cults. How does that make you feel? You know, Melanie said earlier that a lot of these people join them because they get threatened and they feel like they have no choice. Then they end up getting trafficked, but it's in the name of spell work. And it's just a lot going on out here these days. And there's really nothing nobody could do about it. Everything's real hush hush and secret. So it's like, you just have to like bear that burden for the rest of your life. And you have to walk with your head down or your head up, whatever makes you feel better. And you just have to know that shit is really messed up for a lot of people, and it's going to get worse as the years progress. But you know, at any rate, like, I have the evidence to back up my claims. At least I used to. I don't know if they're still there available for viewing, but you know, my path has been hard. You know, I got shit that I could tell people that they wouldn't believe in 10 lifetimes, but it really happened. And that's the weird part, bro. That's the weird part. You know, you could tell somebody some factual, actual events that occurred, and it would sound so crazy that they just wouldn't believe it. They'd be like, yeah, right, that didn't happen. Like, oh, yes, in fact, it did happen. In fact, it did. roll. "95 minutes in, 15 likes, allegedly 0 in the chat. You gotta love it." On a quick charge. I'm already ready for a different color. Let me see. Who we looking at? Oh, okay. Greetings. Welcome to the channel. 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 forget to like and subscribe. Just hit 100 minutes. It's an hour and 40 minutes. This thing. It ain't no closing it, huh? You know, I always said that 11 o'clock was a bad streaming time. And of course, I was right. I'm back. I had some things I needed to take care of. We 114 minutes and 30 seconds in. All right. Greetings. Welcome to the channel. Well, I got the pleasure of viewing me today. Matter of fact, hold on. Heck yeah. Today, man, I didn't hit 9 years exactly today. This day, at this time, 8 years ago, 364 minutes ago, no, 364 days ago, I was on an airplane. Nah, you know what? I wasn't even on a plane yet. No, it's 1 o'clock. I was on a plane. I was on an airplane. I was on a Delta flight on my way to the Romulus Airport in Michigan. It's my anniversary right here, man. Happy about that. It's my anniversary, bro. It's not every day a guy like me gets to celebrate an anniversary, you know. Take this hot ass beanie off, bro. We're gonna just rock the hair. No, we ain't gonna do that. My hair kinda too wild, bro. We gonna keep. We gonna. Plus, my head is cold, homie. Greetings, welcome to the channel. What we talking about, man? What we doing, man? What we really doing, bro? Huh? What we doing? That's what I want to know. What we doing? You know, I'm just happy I made it to my 9-year anniversary. It's not every day I get to celebrate an anniversary, bro. I ain't talking about being married. Talking about being irrelevant. I mean, being alive and relevant. You feel me? It's not every day, man. But I'm happy though. You know, as soon as this weather heats up, bro, I'm telling you, man, I'm finna go crazy. If I gotta travel while broke, that's what I'm about to do. Promise you. I'm finna be a starving creator, and I'm about to get all the footage. I'm going everywhere. So make sure you like and subscribe, because you're going to see it. You're going to see it. Before I leave this earth, I feel like I have no choice but to do some great things. Great to me. I don't care what you think. It's going to be great to me, though. It's going to be an accomplishment from my own life, you know. But best thing I could recommend is kick back, relax, and just enjoy what I'm doing. Because you ain't got to watch it. You ain't got to listen to shit I say. I promise you. You know, but we back on these lives, right? It's cold as hell outside tonight, but as soon as that temperature rises up again, we finna take a trip across town, and we gonna get this footage, man. I might head on down to the river and do a live with the river behind me, but I want to get the video at night so y'all can see the lights of the bridge and the boats going by. Real romantic scenery, man. You know, it's too cold to do that, to do anything right now. But one thing about Michigan is the winters are cold, but the summers are hot, hot and humid. So that's why they got some good weed out this way, the good tree. So, man, I'm just trying to survive in this world of pain, and I'm trying to do as much as I can because God said that you will never know the time, the day, or the place, but it's coming now. So today we gonna celebrate the anniversary of me, and I'm gonna celebrate the anniversary of me, man, and I'm gonna be happy that I'm still around, and I'm making my visual audio file, and I just can't help but feel like I can do a better job. You know, it'd been nice to link up with some real creators, but you know, then again, I'll do this shit on my own. Maybe I'll go down and I'll do some fishing, right? Give me a nice little segment of some fishing. But the problem with that is, man, bro, I be fishing for hours, man. I remember one night I must have fished for about 10 hours straight. You know, it was crazy. I was out there all night. I must have got to the water at like 8 a.m. Man, I didn't leave the water till 10 o'clock at night. I hadn't been catching fish all day though, and it's a couple fellas who go out there. I remember this one guy, he gave me a fishing pole. He gifted me, just never met this guy a day in my life, didn't know who he was. Man, this man walked up to my car and put a brand spanking new fishing pole on the roof of my car and said, "Here, this for you." And I'm like, "Bro, who is you?" I don't accept gifts from people, man, especially people I don't know. But yeah, he gave me a new fishing pole, and I was like, "Man, I'm cool. Go ahead." I got my fishing gear right here, which you can't see behind me, but like in front of me, all my fishing gear still right here. It's gonna get put to use this year, even though it got put to use last summertime. I was down there, I was definitely down there, but ain't nothing like fishing on the Detroit River. I swear, 90% of the fish you catch, you gonna have to throw back in, but man, ain't nothing like it, bro.